If you just now tuning in, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell. GMS fam, the green room. Let's talk about it. Yo, GMS fam, what's going on? How y'all doing today? It is Tuesday. Hope y'all feeling good, man. Hope y'all woke up on the right side of the bed. You know we start off every show with peace, love, and positive energy. I hope y'all are doing well and passing that forward just like I am to you. Peace, love, and light. I see y'all in the chat already. What's up, Mickey Knox, JJ, Brim Dog, Will Major II, my nigga High Def in the building. By way of Southside, Jamaica, Queens, New York. What's going on, my guy? Very dope artist as well. Y'all get in tune with my guy. Yo, it is GMS Story Time. That's where I share some things that have to do with my life, so to speak. Things that have impacted me, so to speak. Things that have impacted my life. And some of these things, well, a lot of these things just impacted my life personally. And what I really want to get into right now is talk about another one of my favorite artists, ScHoolboy Q. Now, a lot of people, the GMS Story Time will consist of a lot of music. I am a music guy, okay? What you just heard was a beat that I made. I also rap, I write. You know what I'm saying? I do it all, so to speak. And music has impacted me very, very much so in my life, to the point where I've taken it upon myself to try to be involved with it as much as I can. So, speaking of certain artists, I did a GMS Story Time on Currency. He's at the top of my list, for favorite artists. And another person that's at the top of my list is ScHoolboy Q. Now, for those who know, for those who don't know, ScHoolboy Q is an artist out of Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles. Grew up on Hoover Street. He is a top dog entertainment, top dog entertainment artist, TDE. For those who don't know. TDE has artists such as Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, Absol, Isaiah Rashad, SZA. Just dope artists, man. Reason. They got Sir over there. They got Lance Skywalker. They got some really dope artists that you should really get in tune with if you haven't yet. But ScHoolboy Q is one of those people that impacted me in a way when it comes to music, just like as far as just having a different sound to what people would consider to be gangster music. So that goes for beat selection, just the way he flows, different shit like that. And what really put me on to ScHoolboy Q was one of his projects called Setback. So I listened to that, and I felt a different vibe to it. Like, it still felt like it was California music, so to speak, LA music, but it was like, it was a different form of it. And it was just like, you could tell that it had the roots in there, but he wanted to have a different style from it than the usual. You know what I'm saying? Than the usual LA beat, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I gravitated towards that. And this was around the time I really started smoking heavy. And a song of his had came out that I like called Bet I Got Some Weed. Now, if y'all don't know that song, I advise you to go listen to that song while you smoke, and I promise you it'll change your whole smoking experience. I'm telling you right now, it will change your entire smoking experience. Now, at that point, I was like, okay, this dude, he's got some shit. He got a vibe. So then all of a sudden, Weed and Brews comes out. That was the song, well, featuring Rocky, ASAP Rocky. Shout out to ASAP Rocky. That was the song that kind of catapulted his name when it came to the whole entire new wave of music. He had a buzz going, but that Weed and Brews kind of started catapulting him to the point where he could really start touring and going out of the state. So Kendrick, or I was gonna say Kendrick, but actually, you know what? Kendrick was one of the people that was the kickstart. So he kickstarted the label really with him, but everybody else started to get their shine. J-Rock was already doing shit way before, you know, everybody else started getting the name. You know, J-Rock already had songs with Lil Wayne. He already had songs out there and videos out there. But then Kendrick started creeping up and started making a name for himself early in 2010 and going on. Now, when ScHoolboy Q came around and started making a buzz for himself in the late 2011, early 2012 era, Weed and Brews came out. Hands on the Wheel. That's what it is. Hands on the Wheel. You're right. I always say Weed and Brews, but Hands on the Wheel is the song. But Weed and Brews is like that chorus. It sticks in your head. That's how you know an artist actually too can make some shit other than just, oh, let's make some music. Oh, we can make some shit that could stick in people's heads. That chorus will stick in your head. You'll say that shit over and over again. Weed and Brews, life of me is just weed. It just goes on and on. So I remember his first show actually that he did after really taking music seriously. The first show he did outside of LA was in Minnesota, and I just so happened to be there. Now, how this ties into it being something that affected me personally was I was in the early stages of trying to do my music and shit. So me being a young inspired artist, I really wanted to go and like see the early grind of people and like catch somebody. I didn't want to catch an artist who was already huge out here and they had selling out arenas all over the place. I wanted to get involved with the up and coming artists and see their grind and see how they did shit, see how they move. So during the time he had a show out here, I looked on Twitter. I was heavy on Twitter at the time too. So I'm just on Twitter. I'm looking at tweets and I seen that he tweeted that, hey, I'm about to have a meet and greet at so-and-so up in Minneapolis. And I just so happened to be in the car with all my homeboys like, yo, he's about to have a meet and greet. Let's go down there. So we went down to, Phenom. That's what it was called. It's a store named Phenom in uptown Minneapolis that he was about to go have a meet and greet at. So we all went down there and met up with him. And it was just him and his crew, me and my friends, and we all was inside Phenom just chopping it up, talking and shit. Me, him, his DJ, and just everybody he came with. And he was just a real down-to-earth dude, like real cool individual. And I forgot I even did this. Let me show y'all something, man. I recorded this video back in 2012 when we went outside. We were all chopping it up inside the store. And then when he saw that one of my homegirls had a longboard, he was like, yo, let me ride that. So we went outside. Excuse me, I sneezed. We went outside, and this is what happened. This is what I ended up recording at the time. Hey, don't fuck up, man. Don't fuck up, man.
Hey, Q. I'm an ass. Hey, dog, he gonna go down the hill. My nigga ain't gonna never stop.
Got him.
That nigga nasty. He's clowning.
Motherfucker just took off on the longboard.
Yeah, he really out here.
Just kicking it on the block. Just a random video I forgot that I had, but this was one of those things that was like, yeah, we really was just out there chilling, random as fuck. And he had a show later that night at Varsity Theater, and he shut that motherfucker down. I forgot how many people was in there, 200, 300 people. I forgot how much Varsity could hold at that time, but it was a good show. And you could see, and I was just like kind of learning like, yo, like breath control, how to control the crowd, how to go to the next song, talking between songs, all that other shit. Like I was just learning that from an early standpoint and getting to see it, up close. So after, being around them and getting in touch with them, later that year, they were coming back to Minnesota in October with A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky was on tour with Action Bronson. I got to meet Action Bronson that night too. Matter of fact, me compared to Action Bronson is so small, bro. Like he's not like small because apparently you see how big he is, but I'm talking about in height. Like he's a short guy, but he's a short, stocky motherfucker. Action Bronson, Danny Brown, ScHoolboy Q, and then A$AP Rocky and A$AP Mob. They all came here to First Ave, right? So it just so happened that the day that they came back to Minnesota to do the show at First Avenue, my oldest brother was getting married. And I was in the wedding. And the wedding was about to start in about 15 minutes. So we all sitting in the back waiting at this little venue place or whatever. We all sitting in the back tucked up. And I'm just chilling. I know that I know that they're there. I know that they're in Minneapolis. So I'm on my phone just looking at shit. All of a sudden, I get a message on my Twitter. And it's from Schoolboy's DJ Mac Watt. Hey, fam. We in Minneapolis. So-and-so, who I won't name, but so-and-so brought us over some trash-ass shit, man. We trying to get some of that kill. We need some of that fire. Man, when I tell you, especially now, I wish I would have left because and it's no slight to my brother, but I wish I would have left that day. He knows why. He definitely would agree. He definitely would agree with me. If he would have seen in hindsight, he probably would have told me to leave too. But I didn't have a chance to go, so what I did was, get your backup plan, hit my guy, say, yo, emergency situation, I can't get down to so-and-so. I need you to go to First Ave. Bop, 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 bop. They went to First Ave. He just threw my man some shit, said, here, man, on the house, have fun. Spark up, roll up, whatever y'all finna do. And long story short, later that night, ended up going to the show to watch the last part of Schoolboy's set and then watch A$AP Mob set. And it was real. It was a cool vibe from then on. I'm like, okay, these dudes is pretty cool. They legit. Like, it's not like, no Hollywood shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers didn't hesitate, to hit motherfuckers up. Like, yo, we need blah, 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 whatever. Even if it's just, needing some shit. That's whatever. Like, I mean, these ain't my friends, you know what I'm saying? These aren't people that I grew up with. These are just, I'm somebody I'm a fan of, man. It's a cool-ass motherfucker. And shout out to Mac Watt. Mac Watt was cool as hell. So, that brings to the point where he starts to do the Oxymoron tour. So, at this point, ScHoolboy Q is taking the fuck off. All the songs are hitting, the albums are hitting. Hold on, let me just show you. First of all, let me talk about the albums. Let me see if who in here right now is a ScHoolboy Q fan in the chat. Let me know. I want to know what your favorite ScHoolboy Q project is. But mine, in my opinion, mine has to be Oxymoron. It has to be Oxymoron. Not only was that one of the hardest albums, but just the tour setup and how he had everything and the vibe that it had, it was crazy. It was a crazy year. We got all these different albums, all these great projects that he's dropped. but Oxymoron was a standout to really even catapult him even more. And I remember he had the Oxymoron tour, right? So here's another story. This is how ScHoolboy Q began to follow me on the social media app Twitter. He started following me on there, still does to this day, but I'm gonna show y'all what ended up happening. But before I do that, just to give people who don't really know, shout out to y'all. They said blank face. JJ said been a fan since 2010. Hell yeah. Young Rain said that album was doo-doo. Oh, you lying to yourself. The one says yay yay. Oxymoron and blank face. CT said that track was sugar free. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Okay, Pedro Lee said blank face. Okay. Now, just to give y'all a little insight real quick, before I go on to how everything happened with the Oxymoron tour, I just want y'all to get a better insight of who ScHoolboy Q is and how he grew up a little bit. Just listen to this.
Syph, where do you want to start with ScHoolboy Q? Because the story is kind of crazy.
You seem like you know it.
Well, I just know I've talked to Q many times, and last time we talked a lot, like off and on camera, about just like his story growing up. He's got a real growing up in the hood story. Like he's like real life boys in the hood story.
Yeah, for sure, real life. I mean, but I had to transition to something different because that's not my life no more. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to be here and being a rapper now instead of having to wake up kicking it with the homies, worrying about what car drive by. You know what I'm saying? Looking at all these cars, now I get to chill. You know what I mean? When people staring at me now, they want to know, is that ScHoolboy Q or not? You know, not is that nigga from whoop-de-whoop-whoop-whoop, where he from? You know what I'm saying? It's like more of a fan type shit. So I'm more at ease now with my life.
Okay, so well, tell us this. Let's before we get to the present and all the wonderful things you have going on. What do you have a first recollection of when you, as a kid, when you knew that you were going to enter that world and be a part of like
rapping?
No.
Oh, gang
shit.
Oh, like I said, I tell people this story all the time. When I joined the set, it was an accident. Like my homie said he was about to do it. I'm like, I'm gonna go too. Let's go. You know
where do you go? Where does one, like, what does that mean?
I mean, you go to the block where all the homies be at, or the homies could be on your block. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a conversation, you get put on, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like the homie went to the park, I followed him.
And so, so for someone like me who's so lost, even
how many times do you guys think? Let me ask y'all. How many times do y'all think that actually happens to kids out there? How many times do y'all think that has happened to somebody young who doesn't necessarily feel like being in the gang? That wasn't their motive. But the fact that they was just hanging out with the homies and they ended up going with the homies somewhere and ended up just kind of falling into it. Now you got more of an addition to, you know, gang life out there. That's kind of what he was saying. He said he kind of became a gang member by accident. He became part of the Hoover Crips by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's crazy how that goes. JJ said, I'm from LA. I got a similar story about Q. He a solid dude. Crazy to see how TDE took off. Hell yeah.
Understanding this.
Yeah.
How does that then begin? What is then?
All right, first you have to grow up in the set. But you have to grow up in the set, for one. For two, you have to know at least more than one person. You know what I'm saying? You got to be kicking it with them. Y'all went to school together or something. You know, your mom or auntie or something. You know what I mean? And
references, if you will, say.
Okay, references.
Yeah, and three, shit, you can't be no mark. You got to have a little heart. You know what I mean? Some people, there be marks, they always get put on gangs. You know what I mean? Snitches and busters won't fight.
High Def said, I can't stand Rosenberg. Yeah, he was asking the typical white questions with ScHoolboy Q.
When the time comes or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, everybody got busters, but he probably had heart that day he got put on. You get what I'm saying?
But they
People
knew.
have moments, because I had moments where I was shaky at times where I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this type of shit. But then when it hits the fan, I turn to a whole different person. You know what I mean? Some people fold under pressure and some people don't.
Me, fold.
But yeah, you just got to know people, and it's just something that you just do.
How old were you?
12.
12.
And how did they know that you had heart already? Like, did you fight in school?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we was all in a clique first, like a little gang called Flirts. cause like it wasn't Crips or Bloods. It was
Peace,
just
bars,
calling
what's
ourselves
happening?
It was like 30 deep. You know what I mean? And the homies wasn't having that no more. The older homies like, y'all can't keep running around our hood claiming this little clique. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? But we didn't give a fuck. Then the homies like, I'm about to go to the park, and like I said, I just followed them. Like, come on, let's go.
So that was it for Flirts.
Yeah, that was it. It was over.
And which actual set did you claim?
Father's Hoover.
And were there within your neighborhood? Is it all one set for the whole neighborhood?
I mean, yeah, for my blocks. I mean, for my section, like, it's the Troubles, too. 5-1 Trouble Gangsta Crip. We like the same shit, Hoover Gangsta Crip and Trouble Gangsta Crip. They 5-1, we 5-2. It's like the same thing, you know.
Is there Crip on Crip action that happens too?
Yeah, I mean,
From different
Crip
sets.
on
Crip
Crip
action.
more Crips than Bloods. Like,
Rosenberg.
a Crip
funny.
would rather kill another Crip than a Blood.
Fuck is wrong with him?
Like, more than likely, depending where you at, your section, if you're closer to the Bloods. But the Crips are so deep in L.A., like, it's so many Crips. You have no choice but to feud with people that's 2 blocks down, you know what I mean? It can all start from, you call my mama a bitch, you called your mama a bitch, now I beat you up. And now they like, fuck that, we got beef now, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could start from something that small. Like,
But if some point, if the beef was to escalate within Crips, is there then like a Crip hierarchy that would step in and be like, all right, this is what's going on. This is.
and you got big homies that'll do that, but I mean, once it get too deep, it's too deep. Like, once one person dies, it's over. Like, can't kill my homie and think I'm gonna just be like, all right, wave the white flag, like, all right, we done this going too far. Like, you already done killed my homie. I gotta get one of yours now. I'm not saying it like I've done that, but that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
So what age were you deepest into it? Like as a teenager?
Oh, yeah, you don't get into it till like really. I mean, a lot of people do it during high school, but I was still trying to be an athlete. I was banging the set, but I really wasn't. But like the crunch time of gang banging really is from 17 to like
What up, Monica?
21.
That's the prime of your career.
That's the prime
What
of
up,
your
LJ?
gang banging because you grown. You get to hang out in the set all day now. You get what I'm saying? You ain't got to go to school for that 8 hours and come back and miss out on a little bit of action. I mean, you in the middle of the action all day. You get what I'm saying? From when you wake up, walk to the store, you in action all day.
Okay, so this is a fucked up question to ask. But on any level, at that point when you're that deep in it and you're a teenager and there's a lot of action, was it fun on some level? Like, was there an upside to it?
Yeah, you know, you get used to the environment, you adapt to it, you adapt to your surroundings. You see people laugh when certain people get beat up bad, and you be like, you start off shaking like, dang, that's a little cold. Even though you hate him still, like, whatever, he got beat up, but I ain't about to laugh at him and stare at him and point at him and strip him down. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that. But once you adapt to what's going on, like, you get numb to all that. You start laughing. Like, I got homies that are like, come in the house, that'll be like, you heard about whoop-de-whoop. He just died. And the homies just start laughing. Like, that's just how this gang life is. Like,
But you still had to have
that.
moments when that happened at first, and you were like, that doesn't sound funny.
Yeah,
That
of
sounds
course.
terrible.
I mean, I'm a human being. You know
Right,
what
and
I'm
and
saying?
I know, but that's the thing, and through your music, you can hear that you're super smart and emotional.
Yeah, like,
So you had to feel that to an extent.
yeah, so like, it's like I said, it's not something I'm into no more. Like, it's embarrassing for me to even really be talking about it, like, in detail. Like, from me going to what I was to now, like, I look at it as like retarded. Like, why would I go and do all that type of stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Take time away from my daughter.
But your daughter,
I'm glad he said that, man. I'm glad he said that. And I want y'all to understand real quick, he's going to explain exactly what the Oxymoron album title is about.
is such a huge part of your life. In fact, you just revealed
Shout out to
the
Joy,
album
man.
cover.
That's his daughter.
Mhm.
It's your daughter, right?
Yeah.
It's your
my
daughter as you
Yeah, my daughter with the mean mug, my bucket hat.
and your bucket
You know
hat.
what I'm saying? I got a picture where I'm doing that. Like, it's an old picture where I'm young, and my mama took a picture of me. And I'm just staring at the camera like my uncles. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to be.
With the OG pose.
Yeah, good. Like, I had an uncle that was in the pen or whatever, and I see all his poses. And he always used to stand like this, you get what I'm saying, with his head up, with his eyes low, like a real gangster. And I got a picture like that. I was going to use that picture for my album, but I'm like, nah, it'd be dope. The oxymoron in this album is that I'm doing all this bad to do good for my daughter. Like, that's why I'm robbing. That's why I'm stealing. That's why I you know what I'm saying? I done shot you and got on, you get what I'm saying, and took your car, whatever it is that I'm talking about in my album, negative, is always for a good cause for my daughter, you get what I'm saying.
Now, I wanted to really play that because I wanted to really talk about the growth. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing the growth in his career, him as an artist, him as a father, and even him as a golfer. If y'all still follow ScHoolboy Q, you know that all he like to do now is just golf and make music whenever he ready to, and be there to watch his daughter play soccer and shit. You know what I'm saying? The type of shit that should inspire not just other black men who grew up in this situation, but just black men, period. You know, black fathers, period. And those are the people, you know, I look for those type of traits in my favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that shit is very important to see. The culture needs to see more of that. And real quick, before I even get to the other shit, the whole golf shit and all that shit, let me tell you the story about 2014. So we had the Oxymoron tour. It came here in Minneapolis, and I went out there with all my friends. And what happened was we got there early, so we were in the front we were in the front row. So as we're in the front row, great concert. I kept seeing ScHoolboy Q every time he kept coming over to where we were. And he kept looking at my homegirl that was next to me, Lauren. He kept looking at her. He just kept going over there rapping to her. So we kept saying, yo, do you see that? She's like, yes, I do see that. We all sit there like, we were like, yo, he's flirting with, he's shooting his shot. This is what he's trying to let you know something. But we were like, she wasn't sure. She thought he was just, you know, rapping or whatever. And we had a good time. It was great. Show was dope. It was awesome, right? So later that night, of course, like I said, just me being on Twitter, and this is what I'm saying, you never know. After the concert, right, all of a sudden, ScHoolboy Q tweets up, God bless whoever that light-skinned chick was that was front row. Some girls deserve tweets. So we took a picture. All of us who went to the concert took a picture together, right? And I posted it up. I said, was it her in the middle? He said, hold on, let me zoom this in for y'all. He said, yeah, first girl on the right, OMG, I'm going to take her from you. So he thought that was my girl at the time, but it wasn't. This was one of my good friends, Lauren. Shout out to Lauren. But he was like, OMG, I'm going to take her from you. And then from that point, he started following both of us, and it was a wrap from there, man. And till this day, man, ScHoolboy Q still follows your boy, and it was one of those moments, man. It was funny as hell, in classic ScHoolboy Q fashion, the way that he did that shit, man. So shout out to ScHoolboy Q for that shit. But and I respect the fact that he still you know, follows a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's some cool shit. You know, some people really do get Hollywood. Some people, a lot of artists do fucking social media sweeps, nigga. They do all this shit where they follow nobody and they fucking don't give a fuck about none of their fans. But he kept it real, man. And it was one of those moments that was funny as hell. And it's some shit I remember, man, for real. Shout out to ScHoolboy. Go ahead and follow him. If you do have a Twitter, go ahead and follow him. You see him right there, ScHoolboy Q. Now let's talk about this shit. The growth, right? ScHoolboy Q now is the type of person who enjoys simple things like playing golf. Still smoking them motherfucking backwoods, but still trying to maintain and caring about his health. You know what I'm saying? At one point, ScHoolboy was really heavy into drugs, man, and he was doing shit that probably would have sent him down the same path as some of his peers. You know what I'm saying? And you know, rest in peace to Mac Miller. Him and Mac Miller were really close. That was one of his really good friends. And you know, it really hurt ScHoolboy that Mac passed the way that he did. And as early as he did, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, just even seeing something like that, even, you know, kind of reaffirm the thoughts that he had in his head about, you know, just the path that he's been taking and the route that he's going. And I honestly look at the things that he's done over the course of the years and how he's taken his time with certain albums and, you know, taking time away from, you know, trying to be the person always on social media and showing you everything a part of his life. You know, some things, you know, are important, but, you know, other things are really for you in those moments. And I think his relationship also with his daughter is real important, and also his other kids. Like he has more than one daughter. He had another baby later on. I don't know how old the baby is now. Like I said, he keeps a lot of his shit off the internet, but I know he has another child. But he's there. You know what I'm saying? Very active. You know what I'm saying? A father that shows up to his kids, to his daughter's games every day, tournaments, championships. You know what I'm saying? Letting you know that, you know, she has potential to be a really good athlete. Shit like that. He's not really trying to show you, oh man, look what I got. Look at this new chain I got. Look at these new clothes I got. The new car I got. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll show you where he live at. Like, yeah, you know, I live in a big ass motherfucking house, but really I'm just kicking it, you know, keeping it real. And I respect that about him a lot. And that's really why I think he's one of the realest out there for somebody to come from, you know, like the clip I just said. He could have easily went down the path of his peers, not just the ones that who his peers are in the industry, but his peers back in the day when he was in the streets. He could have ended up like a lot of the people that he was saying RIP to in the songs that now will live on as some of the best songs, you know, from any artist. You know what I mean? Like he's put it out there to let everybody know that you can come from where he came from and also turn your life into something more positive than you think. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him for this is him doing a GQ shoot, golfing and shit with, I forgot this guy's name on the right, but just different shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you see where he's at in life and seeing what he's about. It kind of displays that for black people, period, that you don't have to be what people think you should be or the stereotypical person that they try to make you out to be. You know what I'm saying? He could have a label over his head his whole life. Oh, the ex-Crip turned rapper, ScHoolboy Q. No, it's like you can rewrite your story. You know what I'm saying? And you can have a better outcome, a more positive outcome in your life when it comes to certain shit. It takes discipline. It takes hard work. It takes resilience. It takes being able to take failure over and over again. You got to get beat down sometimes. You got to, you know, be able to pick yourself back up and not look for anybody else to do it for you. It's a lot of shit that goes into it, man. And I think ScHoolboy Q embodies a lot of that. And if you haven't listened to ScHoolboy Q before you heard this show, or really wasn't a fan because you didn't take the time to listen, I advise you to do so, man, because I think ScHoolboy Q honestly is one of the realest artists of this generation. So, with that said, GMS fam, I appreciate y'all so much for pulling up on me for GMS Story Time. You know what time it is. If you did not participate in the chat, now is your time. Put a GMS in the chat right now, and I am going to shout you out. Thank y'all for listening to GMS Story Time. I appreciate y'all so much. What up, Binky? I see you in here. Shout out to ScHoolboy Q once again for being one of the realest motherfuckers out there. I appreciate you, my dog. Let's go. Hit that like button, by the way. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. Share this too. Hit the share button. Share it on your socials. Text it to a friend. Let them know what's going on. Follow me on my social medias. I will follow you right back. I promise. Hit me on the Cash App today if you are feeling generous. I would most appreciate it. Green Room. Support the GMS show. We are here to grow and to get better. Shout out to Pedro Lee. I see you, Al JW, Arius, Baby G, Trey 979. My guy AP, 3G's podcast in the building. Will Major II, Brandy, the one, Brim Dog, Sugar Bear, CT Reed, High Def in the building. Young Rain. Let's go. Mickey Knox. Hey, JJ in the building, Eternal Umbra, Bars to Market. Hey, I told you, if you got some greenery right now, I advise you right after this, go on YouTube and search Bet I Got Some Weed. All right, go on your YouTube and search I Bet I Got Some Weed and listen to that. It's by ScHoolboy Q, and I'm gonna need you to roll up or pack a bong, pack a pinchy. It don't matter. Get your vape in hand, but you need to smoke and listen to that song, and I promise you, it'll change your whole reefer marijuanical experience. Okay? I promise you. GMS fam, the green room, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for pulling up for GMS Story Time. I will see y'all tomorrow because you know what time it is. Hey, Zen Master in the building. I see you, my brother. Green room, we out. Simo.